Have you ever been in a point in your life when you felt like just, what's the point? What is the use? And you just kind of, I don't know, you just feel like just quit, just giving up, I understand. I totally understand that. I think about different things sometimes, and I think about different people in the Bible who maybe things they went through in their life I can look at and maybe draw something that can help my life. I think about David. David, the author of the book of Psalms, and we look at those beautiful Psalms and we're just encouraged and lifted up by them. But I like to kind of go back in time, and I like to look back and think, what was David feeling? What was he experiencing maybe in that moment that really empowered him, if you will, or impressed him, encouraged him to write and pen those things? I think about David, who the Bible makes it clear was a man after God's heart, God's own heart. And here was a guy who we all know the story of David, and we know that he was a guy that, for his great accomplishments in defeating Goliath. Here's a guy, of course, who had an ultimate failure in his life when he had the affair with Bathsheba, and then, of course, had her husband murdered, and all of these tragic events going on. And I wonder sometimes, did David experience that feeling that, what's the point? What's the use? Surely God could never use me. Surely God could never use somebody that's failed like I have. And I wonder, have you ever felt that way? I have felt that way. I've experienced failure, and I know what that's like in those areas. I understand that. And yet David, here was David, and I have to believe he did feel those feelings, but yet I see how God was able to take him, bring healing to his life, and bring restoration to his life, and look how God used him mightily. I want to tell you to be encouraged, because if God could use David, then God can use you. God is not finished with you, and I want you to be encouraged to know that today. God's not done. God's not finished with you. I don't believe God's finished with me either. I remember years ago I had an older church leader tell me, this has been many years ago, tell me, he said, Ricky, and these were his words, he said, Ricky, I just got to tell you, you're not the kind of minister that we're looking for. You're not the kind of preacher that we're looking for. And I don't mind telling you, I felt devastated. I just felt like, what am I doing here? What's this all about? And I honestly had the feeling of, what's the point? I might as well quit and give up. But I had that something instilled inside me that said, Ricky, God's not finished with you. God's not done with you. And then I remember, it's probably been, I don't know, 10, maybe 15 years ago, my brother-in-law, a great man of God, great man, he's a retired pastor. I remember him telling me one day, I was at a low point in my life, and I remember him looking at me with compassion in his eyes, and he said, Ricky, it's not over until God says it's over. And that stayed with me. It lifted me. It helped lift me out of a real depressed moment in my life. And I'm here to tell you today, I'm here today because God's not done with me yet. And God's not done with you either. And I want you to know, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter where you've been in life or things that's happened in your life. God's not done with you. You never come to a point that you're so far gone that God can't turn it around, that God can't use you, that God can't take defeats in your life and turn them into victories. So I want you to be encouraged today. I want to speak life to you and encouragement to you and let you know that I love you, we love you, we're praying for you, and God loves you. God's not done with you. Get back up, get back in the game, and know that God's on your side, that God loves you. And if God is for you, who can be successful with you? It's not finished with you. We love y'all, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Have a great day today.